Hello students, welcome to Medical 360 and BTech 360. We all know that the NEET examination of 2026 has been cancelled. We also know that it all happened because there is a paper leak that happened. There are many theories that happen about how the paper leak happens. So what I thought was it was important for the students and the parents and all of us to know how the paper gets transported after it is set to the exam center and how it is opened. There are in all about 7 steps in this entire thing, and let me recount each of the 7 steps so that you understand the process that is followed, the security system that is followed, the protocol that is followed, so that we all are aware of how it all happens. The first thing is the printing press itself. It's typically a government printing press. In this government printing press, the printing happens, and here there are a lot of security issues that are handled, right? Only a handful of officials are first of all present, and typically these officials from the education board. Then what you have is the CCTV surveillance of the entire printing press, so that no one knows what exactly is happening. And even carrying phones into the printing press is barred, so that no one can take a picture of a question paper and then you post it on any media, right? So there are enough and more security protocols that are followed at the printing press itself. Papers are printed in multiple sets, which is A, B, C, D, and E, so that no one has access to one single question paper. And this is also to ensure that there is no mass leakage that happens. Right, there are multiple pages into the examination paper and everything is marked and printed in different contours. Workers most of the time also sign a non-disclosure agreement so that there is complete security of the whole thing. And after the printing is done and the papers are counted, sorted by subject and date, then sealed in temper evident numbered envelopes. So numbered envelopes come in and they're all sealed into that and put it into at the printing press stage itself. So that's the first stage that you have, which is printing at the at the printing press, which is a government printing press typically, and normally in far-flung areas, which is also people don't know which printing press a question paper is being printed. That also is a security protocol that's taken care of. Then what happens once the papers are printed, then there is a packing and sealing. That's the second step that happens. In the packing and sealing, there is sealed envelopes are placed inside thick, opaque, waterproof outer packets, often with wax seals. हमें पता है कि वो wax seal लगाते हैं, so wax seal is put, or security tape that shows visible damage if tampered with. The entire purpose of this is if it is tampered, then everyone would know that the wax seal was opened or some such thing, or a security seal is opened. So they make sure that it is created in such a way that any tampering would be known to people who are handling it. Each packet is labeled with a unique serial batch number, the exam date, the subject, and the designated exam center, but not the contents for secrecy. So everything is created very, very clearly, right? So there is an exam code also, and that all is in the each packet that is labeled. Then the packets are then placed inside locked metal trunks. So once you lock the sealed envelopes and all, multiple sealed envelopes are placed in a metal trunk. And the keys are kept by 2 separate officials, so that no single one can open the trunk alone. So there are 2 people who are having the key of the iron trunk, the metal trunk, and so that unless both of them get together, the trunk cannot be opened. A detailed inventory register is also maintained and every packet is accounted for. So that's the second part of it, where we are talking of packing and sealing of the envelopes in a metal trunk. Then the transportation to the bank. So all these metal trunks are then transported to a local bank in the which is close to the center where the exam is likely to happen. So what do they do? The metal trunks are transported by police escorted vehicles, usually a government van with armed personnel. So a security escort is given, and it's a government escort, mind you, and it is transported to the bank from the printing press after the sealing is done. The convoy may include 2 or more vehicles to confuse potential interceptors. In some states, GPS tracking is also installed in the truck that is carrying these examination papers, so that if it goes to a different destination, because GPS tracker would trace it, you would get to know that, okay, before going to the bank, it actually went somewhere, stopped somewhere, and then some paper leak would have happened. So that also they take care. The journey is coordinated so that the trunks arrive at the bank well before the exam day, and sometimes weeks before the exam day also. This also happens, which is a potential lapse that you can think of. And once it is handed over to the bank, a handover document is signed between the transport team and the bank officials upon delivery. So these trunks, after the printing is done, after they're sealed, are transported to a local bank which is close to the exam center. That's the third step that happens. Then the fourth step, which is storage in the bank locker. So all these trunks are now stored in a bank locker in a local bank, which is typically a PSU bank, by the way. The exam board specifically chooses a nationalized or a government bank near the exam center for storage. This is very clear for all of us. The bank's branch manager then is the official custodian. Once it is handed over to the bank manager becomes the custodian of the trunk in which the exam papers are set, right? And they're lying there. But they do not hold the keys to the trunks because the bank manager is only given a trunk. They don't have the keys to the trunk. So to that extent, another security filter is created where unless you actually have the key, you cannot open it. But the trunk is in a place where the bank manager is a custodian, so you can't enter that. The keys would be with someone else, right? The two separate keys to the vault are held by two different officials, ensuring a dual custody system. Neither can access it alone. So you actually have a trunk in the bank locker, but the keys are with people outside and two different people. So unless the three of them, sync with each other, there is no way you can actually tamper with the official question paper that you have. The CCTV footage of the vault is obviously there because it's a bank locker system, so there would always be a CCTV. The bank is chosen one to close to the exam center to minimize travel distance from exam day, and typically it's less than half an hour is what they try to work on. Now the fifth system. On the day of the examination, what happens? Early in the morning, which is typically 1 to 2 hours before the examination, depending on the distance between the exam center and the bank, a team consisting of a board representative, which is, if it's a CBSE, then it's CBSE board representative would be there. A government observer, which is a flying squad officer. What you have in all schools and examinations, you have a flying squad, right? You have a flying squad officer. So board representative is flying squad officer, a police officer, and the bank manager get together and assemble at the bank 1 to 2 hours before the examination. That is, obviously depending on the distance from where the exam center and the bank is. And then the vault is opened only when all designated officials are present. So all the four would be present when the bank locker is opened. The dual key rule is enforced where both the people who hold the keys would open the trunk. And then the integrity of the seal is visually inspected so that it's not tampered with. So now another check that's happening that the sealed envelopes are not tampered with because there is waxed or a security seal was imposed. And then once it is verified, the seals are opened and the integrity of the seal is visually inspected. Any sign of tampering is immediately reported. Assuming there is something that they find as tampering, it is reported back to the officials at the top level. Packets meant for the specific exam center are identified and taken out, the rest remain locked. Because in the trunk there are multiple question papers, mind you, of different exam dates and all. Only that particular day's exam paper, and that is where you would notice at times now, there was a case long back where on a particular day a different paper was came in which was supposed to come the next day. This happens because a wrong paper, a wrong seal was opened and they took it out, right? But typically what happens is for that particular exam day, they take out that packet and the manager goes along with that. What is the final leg? The final leg is from the bank to the exam center. The packets are transported to the exam center in a police escorted vehicle, often with the observer riding along. Upon arrival at the center superintendent signs a receipt acknowledging the packets. So it is transported to the center and the center supervisor signs a document which says that I've acknowledged the receipt of the question paper. The packets are kept in designated secure room at the center under police guard and CCTV. So even now the police guard and CCTV is there and the paper, the envelope is not still sealed open. It is still sealed. At the exam hall, 15 or 30 minutes before the exam is about to begin, this unsealing happens. And how does it happen? Exactly 15 to 30 minutes before the exam, in front of the observer, the center superintendent, and two invigilators, and at times they also tear it open in front of the students so that there is greater transparency, by the way. The outer packet is opened. The inner sealed envelopes, one per room per set, are then distributed to invigilators. So you actually open the envelope and then start giving out packets to each of the invigilators because there are multiple rooms in the same center, mind you. Invigilators open the inner envelope inside the exam hall and in front of students only when the clock hits the final start time. That is 15 minutes before is what they have. They then open the envelope and start distributing in front of the student. Till then, it is sealed and it is kept on the table. Students can often see the envelope being torn open. This is a deliberate transparency move and many schools these days participate. All this, by the way, is called the chain of custody. There are 7 steps as I told you, and each of the 7 steps constitute what you call a chain of custody, where every transfer is documented, every transfer is witnessed and signed for. So you're actually documenting every transfer, then you're actually witnessing each transfer, and you're also signing off that you actually witnessed the whole thing. The system is designed so that no single individual has both the motive and the opportunity to leak a paper undetected. That's the whole process. Now, where are the fallacies in the whole thing? Just imagine that there's a bank manager where you know that there's a center here, there's a bank manager there, and there's a flying squad member, and there's a police person here. If the 4 of them get together, a couple of days before the examination also, it is all done. Because these 4 people, there are 2 people having the key, the bank manager has the, the entire trunk. If they all get together, it's compromised. And many times what happens is, because the paper reaches the exam center much before, a few days and at times weeks before the examination also happens, there is enough time and space for people to deal with that situation where they open, see, and then seal it back, because all the 4 of them are in sync with each other, or all the 4 of them are are corrupted enough to actually work with each other. And many a time the center manager actually knows, because if you're talking of small cities and small towns and small villages for that matter, where there's an exam center, you know the bank manager, you know the police officer, you know the center at which it's happening, and you know the flying squad person. Then it becomes people colluding to, disturb the integrity of the examination. But the process is designed very, very well structured. The process is very, very clear, and that is where the chances of any leakage happening through this process is very remote, unless the 4 of them get together, collude, and then try to disturb the integrity of the examination. I just thought we should all know the process so that you exactly know how it happens. I will also do very soon, I'll do something else of how exactly the paper leak happens also. I'll talk about it very soon in the next 1 or 2 hours. But watch out for this, and then you will exactly understand how it happens. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much. Namaste.